Hey everybody, welcome to the next episode of Law of Attraction Secrets. In this episode, we're going to talk about how to get quick results with Law of Attraction. What is one thing we can do to get the quickest results with Law of Attraction, the quickest results with what we want? Well, listen up, stay tuned, but that's what we're going to talk about in this episode. So if you love what we're teaching here, if you love the kind of conversations we're having, like the video below. You can share it, of course. You can follow us, of course. Subscribe, of course. We all know that jazz, so I don't talk about that stuff that much. But anyway, let's get rocking and rolling, and we'll talk about how to get quick results. What do we need to do to get quick results in the Law of Attraction? What do I need to do to get quick results to the goals that I want, the intentions I set, what I want, what I want to be, so forth and so forth and so forth and so forth. Don't get caught up into the whole trick, the whole trap of, what I want is better than what this person wants, and what I want is more important than what this person wants over here. Sometimes we play these mind games. Our ego gets involved. You know what I mean? We think what we want is better than this person over here, because we want to give the charities and give all this stuff. This person over here wants their Lamborghini. What I want is better than this person wants over here. No, that's not how it works. Okay, simmer down your ego. Focus on yourself a little bit. Don't worry about what other people are doing. Don't worry about what other people want. And simmer your ego down a little bit. But anyway, that's not what we're going to talk about, okay? That's not how we get quick results with Law of Attraction. I got off on a tangent. But I'm going to read a quote for you. I'm going to read a quote for you by Neville Goddard. And this quote, has a secret in this quote, and that's what we're going to talk about, okay? So I'm going to glance down at my computer because I don't have the quote memorized. It's a little bit long quote, so I want to get it word for word exact, and I don't want to paraphrase it, so let's get rocking and rolling. Okay, let's go. The time it takes for your assumption to become fact, your desire to be fulfilled, is directly proportionate to the naturalness of your feeling already being what you want to be, of already having what you desire, by Neville Goddard. Let me read that one more time for you. The time it takes for your assumption to become fact, your desire to be fulfilled, is directly proportionate to the naturalness of your feeling of already being what you want to be, of already having what you desire. So he says it, Neville Goddard says it right in this quote. If you want quick results with Law of Attraction, this is what you got to do. Did you catch it in this quote? Did you catch it what I said? Did you catch what we're trying to master here with the Law of Attraction? Okay. I'll read it one more time and I'll kind of put in my thoughts and get you to think a little bit, okay, just in case you missed it. Okay. The time it takes for your assumption to become fact. What he's talking about here, the time it takes for your assumption to become fact. Neville Goddard kind of talks, sometimes it takes a while when you listen to his recordings to get what he's saying. And in the beginning, when I listened to him, I was like, whoa. He kept, just using old term words and stuff like that. And, it took a while to kind of understand him a little bit. But I'll read the first sentence. The time it takes for your assumption to become fact. What he's talking about here, the time it takes for your intention to become fact. Okay, the time it takes for your goal to become fact, the time it takes for whatever you want in your life to become fact. That time. So that's what he's talking about here. The time it takes for your assumption to become fact. Your desire to be fulfilled is directly proportionate to the naturalness of your feeling of already being what you want to be. That's the key right there. That's the link right there. That's how we get fast results. That's how we get fast results in Law of Attraction. So what he's saying here, the time it takes for your assumption to become fact, your desire to become fact, your intention to become fact, what you want to be to become fact, is directly linked to the naturalness of your feeling of already being what you want to be. You're already thinking an end result. Makes sense? You're already waking up in the morning being the person you want to be. You're already in that state of having it. We talk about in other videos like acting as if. Jack Canfield uses a lot of that. Like, you act as if you've already achieved your goal. You act as if you want to be a famous author, you wake up and you act as if you're already a famous author. You act as if you already have a best-selling book. You act as if you've already sold 1 million copies of your book. And every time you think about your intention, that's what you think about. Okay? What holds us back is I hate to say it, but this is kind of hard to do. It sounds simple, but it's really not, because it takes mind control. We're trying to control our thoughts, because all day long we're constantly thinking. So all day long, when we start thinking about what we want, we're thinking in terms that we don't have it. We're thinking in terms that we don't have it yet. So when we're constantly thinking those terms, that's what takes longer for the law of attraction to kind of happen, until we kind of learn to really trust and have the confidence to trust and really believe that when we set a goal, when we set an intention, we're going to get it 100%. It's going to come true 100%. Once we truly believe that, it's easier to let go, and easier to let go of the how. And it's once we truly let go of the how, once we fully believe that it's going to happen, what happens is that's why he says, naturally, or the naturalness of a feeling already being what you want to be. That's why he uses this word natural. He kind of uses the naturalness, kind of like hard to say, but that's why he uses this word, because when we just truly believe we're going to have what we want, it's going to come. It's coming to us. We just don't know when. We don't know how it's going to happen, but that's not what we're here to do. We're not here to control the how. The reason why he uses this word is because once we truly believe, friends, we naturally just act as if. We naturally just think it's already happened. It just becomes like a natural process. It just becomes so natural. And this is, when I read this quote, I got this quote off Facebook, someone posted it, and it just spoke worlds to me, because that's what I needed to hear at that time. And I wanted to share it. And I did another video about this. It was like I was in bed during the video, the YouTube video in bed. Because everybody's at different stages, and we're all at different stages. We're all trying to figure it out. I've been doing this a long time, but it doesn't really mean that I don't struggle. It doesn't mean that I have it all figured out. You know what I mean? Because it's sometimes it's really hard to just 100% believe. We say we do, but deep down to the core, we don't. Okay, this is what really that speeds up the whole process. It's really just believing that you've achieved what you wanted to achieve, no matter what it is. Okay. And what I've talked about this before is, we can use our power for good, and for us, and we can use our power for other people. Okay, that's kind of what we've talked about: objective and subjective law of attraction. Objective is we focus on us. Subjective is that we use our power. We set an intention for another person. Okay, it's the same way in this quote. When we set an intention for another person, it's the same way. We want to truly believe that they have achieved what they want to achieve. Okay, maybe I set an intention for another person. Maybe maybe they struggle with alcohol. Okay, maybe they're a family member that struggles with alcohol. So besides looking at them at current state, current reality, okay, that they're alcoholic, we don't do that. We look at them that they broke free from that. We look at them that they're sober and clean, have a great job. That's how we view them. Anytime we think about them, we think about them in the state that we want to think about them. Okay? It's the same thing we're doing for ourselves. Think about this. It's the same thing that we're doing for ourselves. If I want my dream house, I'll flip it to something else. If I want my dream house, okay, I'm not thinking the current state that I'm in. I'm thinking end result. I'm thinking I already have my dream house. I already live in my dream house. I'm already walking through all the rooms of my dream house. Okay, same way if I set an intention for another person, I'm already thinking that going back to my other example of an alcoholic, I'm not looking at them as an alcoholic. I'm lifting them out of that state, and when I think about them, I've already trained my mind that right when I think about them, I think that they're clean and sober. Period. I don't look at them at current state. You shouldn't, and that's the same thing. When we apply this to other people, when it comes back to us, we shouldn't look at us in current state either. And that's kind of what's happening with law of attraction, where we're constantly reminding ourselves that the current state that we're in, we're constantly reminding ourselves all through the day, well, I don't have it, when it's going to happen, this didn't happen yet. No, that's what's taken so long, for it to happen. For one, we're not being persistent until the end. That's one thing. We give up way too soon. But then two, we need to put ourselves, we need to lift our own selves out of the current state, and we need to think, and we need to act as if, and believe that we've already achieved what we want to achieve. We already have what we want to have. Okay, and once we just truly let go of that and truly believe, things start kind of propagating, things start kind of working in our favor, and we give up the how, we give up the scheming and manipulating things to happen. We just give up the how and just let it happen. That's when things kind of start happening quicker, because we just totally believe. And that's kind of what this quote, what the quote is really talking about, is until we can truly believe, things are going to be a little bit slower to happen. Okay. So I'll read the quote one more time, because I love this quote. Okay. The time it takes for your assumption to become fact, your desire to be fulfilled, is directly proportionate to the naturalness of your feeling of already being what you want to be and already having what you desire. Okay, we have to put ourselves in a state that we've already achieved what we want. We've already let go. We let go of the how. We just totally believe that we have what we want. Okay, now let me flip this another way, and then I'll kind of, it's been like 12 minutes already. Think about it this way, I don't know how much this links, I just want to share it with you. So when we look at I always like the Bible, read the Bible a lot. So don't take it personal, okay? But when you look at it as a spiritual context, there's a lot in it, no matter what your beliefs are or what. That when you look at Jesus in the New Testament, Jesus' life, and Jesus healed, okay? The more I kind of study spirituality, the more I study the Bible as a spiritual text, the more I study law of attraction, law of vibration, perception, attention, and all this stuff, that the more I kind of start seeing and realizing, in my own opinion, of course, that how Jesus really healed people. Okay, yes, he totally believed he could do it. Okay, he totally believed that he could do it, 110%. He totally believed he could do it, so he could heal. Okay, now the Bible also says, or Jesus also said many times in the New Testament, that we can do what he can do. We can do everything he can do and even more. Okay, listen to this. We can do everything he can do and even more. Okay. Now when Jesus healed, yes, he believed he could do it. Yes, he believed that, 110% he could do it. But what if we take this quote, okay, and we take the quote of, set an intention for another person, okay, and we set an intention for another person. Now follow me for a second. Okay, I don't want to be confusing. But when we set an intention for another person, we can't look at their current state. So for example, if they're alcoholic, we can't look at them being an alcoholic. We can't talk to our friends and talk to our family about, Uncle Bob's an alcoholic, when he's going to stop, when he's going to do this, get his life in order. Then we spend 2 hours talking about Uncle Bob, about being an alcoholic. And all we've done for Uncle Bob is keep him in that current state. We brought so much negative energy to him, keeping him in that current state. So then Uncle Bob kind of remains an alcoholic, because everybody around him is just talking about it, his current state, rather than lifting him out of his current state. And when we talk about Uncle Bob, when we think about Uncle Bob, okay, We think he's clean and sober. He's sober. He broke free from that. Uncle Bob broke free from that. You know, he has a successful marriage. He has a successful job. He's doing well. He broke free from that. Every time we think about Uncle Bob, that's what we talk about. Okay, what if when we got together a family, that's what we talked about. That's how we talked about Uncle Bob in this example. Okay. Now we're lifting up, the power we have is to lift people out of their current state. Okay. Now flipping this back to Jesus, when he healed people, I kind of firmly believe now that when he healed people, yes, he believed he could do it. But I think if he healed somebody from a disease, Jesus didn't look at that person as sick. He looked at the person, he didn't see them as sick. He saw them as already healed. He saw them as already healthy. He saw them not struggling with it. That's one of the ways how he could heal, because he didn't look at them at current state. Do you get me on this? You follow me on this a little bit? He believed he could heal. He believed he could do it. But at the same time, he didn't look at them in their current state. He looked at them that they were already healed. They didn't struggle with it. They don't have this disease at all. That's how he looked at them. He lifted them out with his mind and his words. He lifted them out of the current state they were in and put them in the state that he wanted, meaning that they were healthy. They broke free from disease. That's the current state he put them in. Okay. And it's the same thing for us. If we just focus on ourselves, which is very objective, law of attraction. Okay, when Chad wants more money, more clients, more fancy house, dream car, dream house, and all this stuff, that's not bad, of course. That's not bad. Okay. But I can't, when I start thinking about what I want, I can't think current state. I can't think current state while I don't have it. I got to lift myself in my thoughts, in my imagination. I got to lift myself out of my current state into the state that I want to be, what in the state that I want to become. And that's what I think about. When I think about my intention, I think about my goals and my wants and desires, when I think about that, once I think about it, I think about it's already done. I already have it. Okay, same way, I'm linking it the same way that we would do to another person. Okay, we don't think about another person in the current state. Same way Jesus did when he healed. He didn't think about them in the current state. He didn't think about them having a disease, a crippling disease. When he looked at them, he didn't see the disease. He saw a person that was completely whole, completely healthy, completely healed. Makes sense? Now, if you don't think this works and you're kind of second guessing, okay, you might have experience with this, maybe not. Let's say you have a significant other, okay? You're in a relationship, maybe you live together, maybe you don't, maybe you're married, maybe you're not, okay? But what would happen when we think about a significant other, what would happen is if we always thought negative about them? We always thought about the negative things they do instead of all the positive things they do, okay? What do you think is going to happen? If I always focus on the negative, what happens? We keep that person we pull that person into that negative state, and they end up becoming that. They end up doing the things that we don't want. I mean, have you ever experienced that? I mean, I have, or sometimes it's done to me, too. I've done it, and I've had, relationships do it to me as well. They focus on the negative. But what do you think is going to happen? Okay, when you're pulling that person into a negative state, because your energy has power, so you're pulling that person into that negative state. That's all you're focused on. That's all you're going to see. That's all you're going to get. That's all you're going to come to you. And you're kind of forcing that person to do that to you, because that's what you're constantly thinking about. Okay. You can flip around a relationship if you just totally think positive. You totally think about why you love the person in the beginning, why you love the person in the first place. You focus on the positive. You lift that person out of this current state they're in. Okay, you bringing that energy to them. They end up reciprocating that energy to you. They end up doing more positive stuff because you're focused more on the positive. Okay. Now, a lot of us have probably dealt with that sometime in a relationship. Either we do it to another person or we have another person do it to us, where they just always focus on what they don't like about us. You know what I mean? So it's the same scenario. You know, when we think about somebody, are we thinking positive or negative? Okay, what state are we keeping them in? Okay, and that's that's kind of when we start thinking about another person, we start thinking about what state we keep in somebody in. That becomes very subjective. Law of attraction. Okay, I have a video on this. Subjective law of attraction, meaning that our energy we have, our power we have within us, isn't selfish power. Selfish power is very objective, meaning we focus on ourselves only. And that's kind of the popularity of law of attraction. The popularity of law of attraction is we only focus on ourselves. We only focus on what I can get, what Chad can get, what Chad can get, what Chad can get. I don't care about other people. Well, that's very selfish power, okay? Subjective law of attraction is that we understand the power we have. We understand the intentions we set is always going to come true if we persist in it, okay? And we use that power for good. We use that power for other people. We use that power to set intentions for other people in their lives that kind of bring good in their lives. To kind of lift other people out of current state and put them in a state that we want them to be in a more positive way. I mean, that's why we're here as spiritual beings. That's one of the reasons why we're here as spiritual beings, is to help other people, not to be very selfish with our own power. Not to be very, that's kind of the, when we talk about higher consciousness, when we talk about law of attraction, law of vibration, law of the universe, no matter what we say it is, there's a lot of videos on I help people expand their consciousness, but all they do is focus on themselves. All they talk about is focusing on themselves. And yes, part of it is focusing on ourselves, but that's not why we're here as a spiritual being. We're here as a spiritual being to help other people. Once we realize the power we have, once we're awake to the power that we have, the power we can have in our own life, okay, we can help other people with the same power. That's being subjective. That's being, helping humanity, just with power of our thoughts, power how we look at things, power how we look at another person's life. Like someone's struggling with drugs, okay, we don't look at them as they're struggling with drugs. We look at them, they're already clean and sober. They've already passed that. They've already done with that. They've moved on from that. Every time we think about them, that's what we think about. We don't think about current state, okay? That's hard to do. We have to train our mind. We have to train our thoughts, and each day, we're getting a little bit better and 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 a little bit better, okay? But other than that, let me type in my password here because I want to end it with a quote, and of course I don't remember it. But anyway, this video kind of went on and on and on, but just kind of want to connect things, and this kind of brought up a lot of this stuff's for me too. A lot of this stuff, this quote spoke worlds to me. If you see the other video I did when I was like going to bed, because it's something I really needed to hear, because this is a work in progress for myself too. So we're all kind of at different levels. We're all kind of like, we wake up one day and it's like, oh, we get it, and so forth and so forth. But anyway, let me read this quote one more time for you, and I'll wrap this stuff up, and I'll see you in the next video. So let me read this and I'll end. The time it takes for your assumption to become fact, your desire to be fulfilled, is directly proportionate to the naturalness of your feeling of already being what you want to be, of already having what you desire. That, my friends, is what speeds up the process of law of attraction. Other than that, my friends, stay in the game. Don't give up. Whatever you set that intention, don't give up. Hang in there. Persist. Okay, persist until you achieve what you want to achieve. And even by Neville Goddard, okay, he always states, like in a lot of his recordings, that he's never seen it fail. He said, if you persist and persist to the end, it 100% always works out. It always comes to you. When you set an intention, it always comes to you. It always happens. Okay, you just need to persist. Other than that, hang in there, hang in the game, and don't give up, don't throw in the towel, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.